Okay, hey, I'm going to be setting up an SSD today. First thing I want to do is benchmark to make sure it's running right. Software center would be much more useful than that, but the benchmarking on Xubuntu, I prefer to use the GNOME disk utility. There it is. There it is. Install that real quick like. If it looks like things are loading a little slow on the screen, that's because it's running over a VNC. And so I can record. I tried to install the recorder running on it, but it didn't seem to like that very much and didn't want to install with it running, so do it this way. Okay, that's that. There you are. Okay, here's my SSD. What I don't want to do is run a quick little benchmark on it. Start benchmark. Do not waste my write cycles. Let's see. This shouldn't take but an instant. But there's the speed of my solid state drive. That's with it unformatted. Next thing I'm going to do is set up my hard drives the way I want them to be set up. But before I do that, where is it at? There you are. This one right there. Uncheck these boxes, or when you mess with gparted, it's going to open up every partition you create, which gets rather irritating. Both these drives are brand new. Well, technically, that's the flash drive. This one is the solid state drive. This one is my hard drive for a hybrid setup. Let's see. Refresh disk. No, that's not what I want. Create a partition table. I want to do, let's see. There it is, GPT. Okay. First partition I want to make is going to be for var. I want to label it var because I want to label it. You don't have to do labels, but I prefer to. Hard drive, so I want to do cylinder, just because I can. You should be fine with the other one, but it'll work. And Sonny, why are you bugging me right now? That's my cat. Anyway, I want to go. Okay, I'm just going to go and open up a calculator real quick, because I don't know about you, but multiplying exact values, because I'm a perfectionist, doesn't usually work very well in my head. Let's see, I will go ahead and make it 5 gigs, so 5120. And numlock not being on drives me crazy, and I can't use numlock when I'm using VNC, so that's really annoying. Okay, create that one. Next one I want to create. Okay, I want to create. This one's going to be my main home partition, where all my data is stored. I want it to cylinder because I want to, and let's see. I want to do calculate space remaining, so I want to have about 10 gigs for a swap that I'll never touch ever, but just for the sake of doing it, plus 2 gigs for a little other section, so that'd be a total of 12 gigs, so 12 times 1024 add that one and new. This one's going to be, I don't even have to do that one in my head. That one I can do in my head easy. Align the cylinder, ext4, And this one, I'm just going to fill up the whole thing because it's going to be swapped. There. That's the way I want that one set up. Apply that. Don't need this one. Okay, there, I've created my partitions. I prefer to use gparted for creating partitions anyway, just because it's a better looking interface than the one you get during the installer. Plus, I'm doing a lot of advanced stuff with this, so it makes it a whole lot easier. Yeah, that would always be helpful. Yeah, MS is going to be fine for this one. Okay. This, now I'm going to format my solid state drive with an ext4 partition. It's going to be root. My root partition, MIB because it's an SSD. Okay. And megabyte size, primary partition. Yeah, that's just the way I want it. Apply that. Don't remember if I mentioned this, but when you benchmark an SSD, the reason I didn't want to, yeah, I did mention this, but the reason you don't want to do write benchmarks is because it just uses up, SSDs have a limited time you can write to them. I see no reason to waste all that write space, use up my write limit on a benchmark. If it especially when it's being used for a boot drive, all you need it for is reading anyway. Write speeds could be half a hard drive for all I care. It's not like you write to a boot drive very often. Okay, gparted we're done with. Let's see, anything else I wanted to do real quick? Nah, can't think of it. Let's see. Continue. I'm not going to bother checking for updates. I'll do that after I install. That's my flash drive, which has the installation media on it. Something else. Okay. SDB. This was the solid state drive. XT4. Do not format that. Formatting an SSD is just going to be bad for it. Especially when it's brand new out of the box. Okay, that I would want to change to this. That's why I made it MBR. Because I don't want to have a 1 megabyte partition on a GPT partition. Okay. XT4, this one I was going to change to. This one's going to be var. Don't need to format it, it's already created. This one's going to be home. Now this one I was just going to use to hold my apt cache downloads, which in the path to that is /var/cache/apt/archives. Now, just to make sure I spelled that right, cache arcache apt/ar archives. Okay, ar. Now, if I was smart, what I would have done is I would have just typed that and copy pasted it. But I figure I'll just do it that way because Hey, I just wanted to look smart trying to remembering some long string that has no meaning to a normal person. And let's see. Archives. That's on the little 2 gig partition, 5 gig per var, which is plenty more than it needs anyway. Okay, SDB for the bootloader. Wait a minute. I just remembered there was at one point a little bug with this installer. So what I want to do is, yes, I want to format var. If you don't format var, there was a little bug that would make it just crash or something like that. Anyway, I don't want to have to redo this. So last thing I want to do. Does that even count since you don't want to do it at all? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Now I'm just going to put some information in here that I'll just crop out the real information I'm going to put. Oh well, no point now. I already know my first name. Wait. Oh, forget it. Who cares? I'll just put the real information. Computer name, oh yeah. Really? I can't even use caps lock on VNC? And no, you do not get to know my real password. And now we're going to just let this install and watch how fast it goes. Now, one of the benefits of a hybrid setup by using a mechanical hard drive and a solid state drive is you can do all the writing you want to a mechanical hard drive and not have to worry about the write limit on a solid state drive. Of course, a solid state drive would write a whole lot faster than a mechanical drive, but I'd rather this thing last an extremely large amount of time. Of course, downloading files is going to be the slow part of this, but anyway, once I get this part done, I'm going to use my little cheat sheet over here to configure my fstab file before I actually boot it. As you can see how fast this installation process is going, it's not going to take very long. Okay, you can open up now. Yeah, this section right here is just complete paranoia. Just don't want to. I've seen a little bit of data get written in root, so just get it off of there because I don't want to have various writes in there. Now, of course, I have a 60 gig SSD. Once this is installed, it's going to be using well under 10 gigs because I'd be surprised if it uses 6. So solid state drive is really a non-issue for a boot drive on Linux. Unlike with Windows, where the base install is going to be around 20 gigs. And yet includes virtually no software you typically use. What I am going to do while it's doing that, it's going to type the command I'm going to need to use. Donar is the file manager on Xubuntu. GKSU just means open a graphical application with root access. Wait, why am I going to do it like that? I can just use Nano. Nano is just a command line text editor. And the main reason I have this, I'm going to add this one is, as you notice with the media folder, it adds folders for every user. And if you have a guest user come on and use a flash drive, you just get a pointless folder name, and which is as soon as they log out anyway. If I make it a RAM disk, it's deleted every time it shuts down, so it doesn't get constantly pile up of folders. Shady, do not chew my box. Get up. Get up here. Okay. Okay, got the other kitty off the box. There's no way you can even fit in that box. Why do you gotta mess with it? I know someone's going to ask which recorder I'm using, but I'm using the recorder is Kazam, K-A-Z-A-M, and unfortunately it doesn't want to recognize my microphone as microphones and wants to record speakers instead of microphones. So I'm using a different program called Audio Recorder, and I'm just going to merge them two with a video editor called OpenShot. Oh, don't fall, and don't step on my keyboard. Whoa, Sonny, do not do it. Okay, kitty. Okay, there we go. Continue testing. Why is my mouse cursor? Oh, it's too close to that, isn't it? Okay. Now I got that mounted. Root / var. No, it's etc / fstab. Make this a little wider so I can see it all easily. Make this a little wider so I can see it all easily. Sonny, what are you doing? Okay. And then I'm going to copy paste these two. Noatown just makes it so it won't write timestamps to every folder every time it's accessed. Every file and folder, actually. It implies, on some guides you'll see they suggest putting no dir a time, but that is implied by Noatime, so it's not necessary to actually insert that one. If it makes you feel good, go ahead and do it. It doesn't hurt. But let's see. Okay. Now I don't need to do this, add that to my other partitions because those are not on an SSD. Okay. Yeah, this one. There. Moving temp to off the SSD prevents a lot of excess writing. Move media to the RAM. I'll put spaces in those later. Temp, move Then I want to move root. Okay. Now, because I'm a perfectionist and I want to have the... Okay. I just want to space this over a bit. Okay, that's good for that one. I'm not going to bother with those last two because those get thrown off anyway. On the upper lines and don't care to mess with them. Okay, except that one. That one's not even doesn't even go that far. Okay, that's all my fstab edits. Control O, enter, Control X. Sudo mv. I'm going to want to mount home now. I want to move /media Xubuntu root/root to /media Xubuntu home. Okay, to right over here. Then I need to have an empty folder over there. There, that should handle that. Hopefully I didn't screw up the permissions on root, which is supposed to be not read. I don't remember my chmod numbers, which is why I have some of this stuff copy pasted like 755. But I'm only using this computer, so it really doesn't make much of a difference if that's a little bit off. Okay, all that is there. You also don't need to mess with any I/O schedulers since this is the latest version, 13.04, which isn't scheduled to release for release till the end of the month. This is the beta version. Exit. And can I think of anything else I forgot? What is it? What's 5.4 gig volume? Oh, did I forget to label that? No, it's labeled. Okay. Yeah, whatever. It's there, and it's done. Well, that's the way I prefer to have a hybrid setup. There, it's completely installed and ready to go. As soon as I reboot, anyway. And this thing right here that I used is called Keymon. KEY-MON. You can download the file from code.google.com or some URL like that. Yeah. Let me bring it up real quick. Yeah, there it is right there. Their dev files have a little issue where the actual executable program is missing, which is really lovely. So the one you really need is this one right here. You can install Keymon from the stock repos, but again, the deb doesn't have the executable program. So that's a whole lot of good. Still get you the dependency. See that it's that little program that it requires to run, but aside from that, the deb is completely useless. Okay, we are now done with this one. Finish, and